Can you explain me what is rest and spread operators?
So, rest operator and spread operator. Spread operator, what it does? So suppose there are three elements in A and three elements in B array, and if you want to combine all the six elements from A three elements and from B three elements in array C, so we can do with the help of spread operator like C is equals to in square brackets triple dot A comma triple dot B. Rest parameter, it will take an indefinite number of arguments. It will take the arguments as an array, so that are rest operators.
Okay. That was the answer on console.
Let a equals to 1 2 3 4 5 function array p comma triple dot console of a and array 6780. So here the value will be it will be print in array 780, because the argument a, it will take all the arguments from 7 till last argument as an array. So from 7 it is taking 7 8 and 0. So in the square brackets it will print 7 8 and 0.
Okay. Okay. That was the answer on console.
It will print undefined because the value initialization has not been done.
अब इसमें एक वो देखिए कंसोल डॉट लॉग के बाद लिखिए
And okay,
a is equal to 3.
equals to 3. Okay.
A is equal to 3. That was the answer on console.
After adding a equals to 3 at last, then also it will be undefined, because if it has been a equals to 3 statement, if it would have been in before console log of it, then it would have printed 3, but it is the statement is after the console log of it, therefore it will be undefined.
What is ternary operators in JavaScript?
So the ternary what it helps, so it is a shorter syntax of if else statement. Okay, so we can write in a single line the if else statement. So what we'll do, we will write the statement and we'll write question mark, and if it is true then first, and then if it is false then the second statement will get executed. So that is ternary operator.
Okay. Can you arrange this array in ascending order?
With the help of like inbuilt function or like,
Any you have. Okay. And descending order?
Yeah. So, what are the differences between let, where, and const?
Difference between let, var, and const: var it is the function scope, whereas let and const they are the block scope. Let it cannot be redeclared, var it can be redeclared as well as reassigned, whereas const it can't be reassigned. So these are the two main differences between let, var, and const.
Okay. So, what is scope?
So yeah, scope. There are local scope and global scope. So local scope, it can be accessible within the curly braces. So take an example of function. So within that function only the variable can be accessible. So that is example of local scope. Whereas global scope, so it can be accessible anywhere in the program. That is the difference between local scope and global scope.
Hmm. What is hoisting?
Hosting. So hosting, what it does while compilation, it puts all the declaration at top of this code. Also, what we can say is it can be used before declaration with the help of hosting.
Okay. So, for which things it will be applied? Like for functions, variables, or other stuff. For which
Yeah,
thing it will
functions
be?
and variables both.
Okay. So, does that mean if we define a let type of a variable, it will be applied to hosting?
Yes, come again.
If we use the let type of variable, if we declare a variable using let keyword, will be the hosting is applied to that or not?
For let variable, like hosting will get applied, but the value won't be accessible. So it is valid for var variable. So var variable it can be accessed before declaration, but not for let. It will show for let variable it will show that it cannot be accessed before initialization.
Okay, so what are these new things it was introduced in E6?
The new features in ES6 it includes like spread operator destructuring, promises, callbacks, splice, uh, let, cons. So these are the few features which I can think of. There are many others, but these are the few which I can think of.
Yeah. So what are the differences between normal function and the arrow function?
Normal functions and arrow functions. The arrow functions, this keyword cannot be used in arrow functions, and they are not constructible. Therefore, whereas in normal functions they are constructible, and in arrow functions we don't normally use the return keyword. So it reduces the syntax and makes the developer too easier to write the code.
Okay, so you are saying that arrow function doesn't use this keyword for that
Yes,
inside
yes,
that scope.
yes.
So what we have to do if we want to use the this keyword?
So what we will do is we will bind this keyword into the arrow function, which will resolve the issue.
Okay, anyways, that's fine. Let's move to another thing. So what is API?
So API, with the help of API, so API stands for Application Programming Interface, and what it helps us to connect with the external services so that we can send the data or we can receive the data. With the help of sending or receiving the data from services, we can do with the help of API.
Which yeah. So what is JSON?
So JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So it is used for storing or exchanging the data. So it consists of like pairs, key value pairs. So in short, what we can say, the JSON file it is used to store the data in key value pairs. Use
And what will happen if we define it if we pass that in type of any JSON value?
a JSON value, it is a string.
Mhm. Okay, so there are kind of two functions. So what are these functions that we can convert in JavaScript object into JSON or JSON to JavaScript object?
The function which stringify method is used for conversion of JSON into JavaScript or JavaScript object in this case.
Okay. Uh, have you ever done authentication on React side, like for the login pages and storing the tokens and stuff?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Are you aware of private routes?
Private routing. Okay, so this kind of routing, what it does, like for example, uh, there is a bank application login page. So it requires user ID and password. That is one of the private routing.
Okay, so let's say I have an array. It has three elements, one, two, three, number of array of numbers. Having three elements, one, two, three, and I want you to add one another element called it four. So how will you do it?
Okay, so if there is there are elements 1 to 3, and if I want to add the fourth element, then we can do with the help of push. We want to add element 4
Yes, array.
in array.
Yes.
We will use push.
Okay, and what about if we want to remove the first element?
With the help of shift method, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
so are you aware of map and filter functions?
Yeah.
So what are these functions and how can we use those?
So map function, it is used to transform the elements. So suppose there is 1 2 3 4 in an array, and if you want to multiply each element by 2, then we can do each element by 2. So we can do with the help of map. Filter, if you want like the elements greater than 3, less than 2. So on this situation, we can we generally use filter.
Okay, so let's take that same array having four elements, one, two, three, and four.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I want you to filter that array. So number two should have to be removed from that array.
We want to
How will you
remove
do that?
we want to
The
remove
number
number
two.
2.
Yes.
If we don't want the element 2, then we will write not equals to 2. This will be the condition. Yeah, so we can write the value not equals to 2. This will be the condition, so that it won't take the element 2.